morning, St. Paul's, Twin Cities. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Un-Bougie Foodie. It is a wonderful Saturday morning. You know, I'm surprised by the weather, but, you know, maybe folks that are from Minnesota, born and raised here, they're used to this. I'm not. But yeah, folks might say, you know, well, you've been here long enough so you could kind of get used to it. I don't know. I'm thinking November is a time when you should have some type of rain. I thought it would probably be really snowy or something. Anyway, I'm glad that the weather is the way that it is right now. So I hope you all are going to enjoy it just as well. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. You know, I'm here every Saturday at 10 a.m. And, you know, we've just come off from a holiday. I mean, we're I shouldn't even say we're even done from it, really. But I really wanted to just talk about this past holiday and what you had, you know, for Thanksgiving. What were your favorite things that you had, or maybe what was the most unique thing that you had, if you would. I would love to hear what you feel or what you know, what your thoughts on that. So please feel free to give me a call here from the start, right here at the radio station, 651-200-3479. Again, 651-200-3479. You know, that's going to be kind of our subject today, along with a few other stuff that I'm going to be talking about. One that's a little bit serious, and wow, I already have a phone call. So give me 1 second. Hello, caller. Thanks so much for calling WEQY, the voice of the East Side. This is your host, Wesley. How can I help you?
Oh, man. I heard you talk about what we have at Thanksgiving.
Morning glow.
Hey, man, listen. I love the Un-Bougie foodie, man. I was eating, but I did good this time, sir. But Grandma laid it out. You know what I mean? We had dirty beans. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Oh, man, dirty beans. I had some macaroni and cheese, but with like rigatoni noodles instead of like regular elbow.
Nice.
Very, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And some greens that was to die for with just the right amount of meat in it. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like just greens. It was like meat and greens. That was all the hood. And sweet cornbread. I can't stand that back alley fried. No flavor cornbread. You got to give me some sweetness in that thing, and some sweet potatoes, and some.
You're going all in. You're so funny.
I did over my dad's house. You know, yeah, like my dad don't eat pork, so yeah, like turkey ham, all kind of stuff cracking off in there.
See, I'm jealous.
Potatoes and some gravy, and then my mom makes this fruit salad. Or not my mom. My stepmom makes this fruit salad. With the marshmallows and the fruit salad and the Cool Whip. Oh my goodness gracious!
Do they call that ambrosia? I mean,
I don't know what he call it. It's like hood ambrosia. I don't know if that's his name like that, but it was good, man.
That's so funny.
Now you done made me hungry. I didn't eat nothing. Now you can't go to McDonald's after that?
No, you can't. You have to go. Any leftovers is what you're supposed to be doing and making some type of like quiche or some other type of dish, you know, especially for breakfast. And if not that, then for lunch you should be having some type of turkey sandwich or some other type of, my father would probably say goulash with a whole bunch of stuff. And then just put some eggs in it or something like that, or maybe throw some sausage in along with everything that you have, and you're good. So you're hilarious.
You're absolutely right. All right. Thank you for making me hungry, man.
Thanks so much, Glo. I appreciate it. That's our station manager, folks. He's hilarious. Anyway, that is the kind of stuff that I'm hoping to engage you all in, and I'm looking forward to just. I want to hear. I really want to hear what you've had. I'm going to share with you some things that I've had, definitely. Um, and it's going to be. I thought it was quite interesting. I mean, I've some friends invited me over. Two sets of friends, actually. Not that I'm all that popular, because I need to put that out there. But just that, they when they invited me over, I never know what to expect. Well, I take that back. In one situation, yes, I know what to expect. They wanted to have a more traditional type of meal. The other group of friends, they're experimental, so they will try certain things, very different, but turn out wonderful. And I shouldn't even say different, because what might be different to me might be something that is standard for them. So, you know, um, I'll start off by saying that, the friends that are experimental, they had about, I think, a 14 or 16 pound turkey. And I was curious how were they going to prepare it. Now, mind you, this technique that they used specifically, and I'm giving a shout out to Aaron. Thank you very much for allowing me to sit and watch you while you do all this, and actually have me help. So I appreciate that too, because I learned something. I had this 16-pound bird, and at first he made a herb butter mixture, if you would. And of course, your standard process of, if you would. And I'm used to kind of like cutting in between the skin and the actual flesh of in this case, the turkey or chicken, if it were. And then just kind of like massaging the butter mixture, that herb butter mixture, in between that, the cavity, I'd say, or in between the skin and the actual flesh or muscle of the bird. And then we did that all over. But while he was doing that, he had me mix butter and white wine. And you're thinking, what are you going to use that for? That's actually going to be to baste the turkey. And I had not seen this before, or heard of this before, and I'm quite sure that it's probably something not new, but it was new for me. It was very, very new. And I also learned another technique in association with that. So after I'm sitting there mixing the butter and the white wine together, which has me thinking, I wonder if you could do Moscato. Anyway, it was some white wine. I think it was just I forgot what brand it was, but if standard white wine. I don't know if it was a Chardonnay or if it was a Pinot Grigio. I have to find out from him. But he had a cheesecloth, and he cut enough of that cheesecloth. And after he had already completed his process of putting the herb butter underneath the skin of the turkey, he laid the cheesecloth on. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that. We actually dipped the cheesecloth in the wine and butter mixture that I was doing. So I was, whipping that using a whisk, and whipping the butter and the wine to hopefully incorporate it all. But once we completed that, then we dipped the cheesecloth in that mixture, and then he laid that on the turkey. I mean, on the breast and along the sides of the leg and of the wing, or wings, I should say. And he put that in the oven, and there was still, of course, the butter and wine mixture that was still there. So that was what he was using every 15 or 20 minutes. I think it was, we were supposed to cook that at 325 degrees for about 4.5 hours. So every 15 minutes, he would baste the turkey, again, on with the the cheesecloth is already on it, with that butter and wine mixture. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what is the purpose of the cheesecloth? Well, as you know, when you're trying to baste any type of, with bird, chicken, turkey, whatever, you don't want that to just simply slide right off. You want that, you're hoping for that basting to remain or stay on the turkey or the bird that you're actually have in the oven. So the cheesecloth helped retain all of that moisture and the butter mixture on top, so that the breast of the turkey was moist. I mean, when it came out of the oven and it was really done, and we started to carve the turkey, I mean, it was cooked all the way through, perfect timing and everything that we did, that he did on that. But it was cooked all the way through, and it was moist. It had a nice golden crust, if you would. The skin was nice and golden brown, and it was just a new technique to me, and I just thought it was exciting to see that and to participate in it. So that was one that was different for me, or that was unique for me. I'm gonna remember that in the future. Aside from, I'm quite sure you've probably seen online pictures of turkeys or chicken, wrapped in bacon, in lattice style, meaning that the bacon is crisscrossed, if you would, and then laid across whatever bird it is, and then placed in the oven, to give it that additional rich flavor. Bacon always does that to any dish anyway. So in this instance, for us, it was making sure that bird was staying moist by putting the cheesecloth and using that butter and white wine mixture. So yeah, try that. I would encourage you all to try that, just to see what your results are. I know ours was really great. I was really surprised. I really was. Anyway, again, as I mentioned, I would love to hear some of your unique and even your favorites dishes that you've had. 651-200-3479. Again, 651-200-3479. I am here to take your phone calls. Yeah. Thank you, Colucci, for calling in and telling us about all of those wonderful dishes. And yes, thank you. You have made me hungry, and I need to go and have something as soon as I'm done out of the booth. I know we're going to be coming up to a new feasting time. It always seems that, from Thanksgiving, or from, when you have Thanksgiving all the way up until, I suppose, Christmas, the 25th, 26th of December, people are just eating. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes it might just be, I'm bringing donuts in to the office, or we're going to have a potluck. Yeah. So I know we're thinking about what you're going to probably make, bring, whatever, whatnot. Yeah, I think right now, though, we need to talk about what you had for Thanksgiving, for your holiday feast. And, also what you're going to do with any type of leftovers. I was just giving, the suggestion to go a second ago, or a few moments ago. Those leftovers, I'm telling you, you can truly make a wonderful quiche. You have some cheese and some eggs, and maybe chop up some of that turkey, and I'm not sure about the green beans. I mean, it depends upon what type of green beans you did, because I did have some really great green, like a green bean kind of casserole. That was pretty good this past weekend. But I had a friend. One of my friends did a wild rice with sausage and mushroom. That was wonderful. Just think about all of that. If any of that type of those ingredients or those items are left over, you could put that all together in a nice quiche, or make some omelets. You know, today is Saturday. It's only, what, 2 days from the day that we had all this great food. Don't let it go to waste. That's the other thing. If you have any ideas of what to do with your items that you have remaining from your feast on Thursday and Friday, because some folks say extend that into Friday, give me a call. Let me know. Also, let me tell you a little bit of what's going on. I want you to go and visit my website, please. It is www.theunbougie.com. You'll hear information about food articles that I've written. You could read those online. I'll also have recorded my live recorded shows. So if you needed to catch up, or you missed any and you want to go back and just kind of hear maybe a recipe that you probably missed, or just listen to the show again, feel free to do so. Again, visit the Un-Bougie Foodie at gmail theunbougiefoodie.com. Sorry. If you want to leave me a comment or maybe a suggestion, that's where you go to the Un-Bougie Foodie at gmail.com. To leave me an email, you can always leave me a suggestion, a comment about the show. This, again, as I've always said, this show is really for listeners, those that are in the community, that are interested in finding out about new food places that are in the community or in the neighborhood. I'm so excited on having the opportunity to share any type of information with you about new foods, restaurants, events, and so forth that are happening around the Twin Cities. And, as we get to the colder season, I don't know, it's for me, it always seems like there are two seasons that are people want to either go out or want to be someplace warm and cozy. And that seems to be, well, okay, the warm and cozy part is in the winter, or in the fall. So that's kind of what I'm is in the fall. So if you're looking for a place, that's a restaurant that is warm and just inviting for you to sit with friends, or maybe just yourself and a loved one, this is the season to do that. But then also springtime, when you want to just get out, patio sitting, people watching, I love that too. Those are the two seasons that I feel that are, can engage with people a whole lot more when it comes down to having any type of meal, or seeing what they're feeling about a particular type of cuisine. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. So again, keep in mind that you could call me here at the radio station, 651-200-3479, right here on the Un-Bougie Foodie. Along with on my website, I'm jumping around a little bit, I'm sorry. Along on the website, you'll see food articles that I've written for a local community newspaper, but also just day-to-day food thoughts, if you would. There's galleries of the food and dishes and places that I've gone to. So I've laid it out on the website, once again, theunbougiefoodie.com, www.theunbougiefoodie.com. Please go there, visit, you'll learn even more about myself as well as the show, and you'll be able to follow up on places that I've gone to, again, articles, and I've laid it out so that it's very easy and simple for you to navigate around. That's another thing. If you find that you're having trouble, you can't find something, let me know. I'm always looking for ways to improve and make it better for audience, listeners, readers, for them to find out this information that I'm willing to share. There's going to be recipes that I'll be adding on there as well. So, yeah, make sure you bookmark it because it's going to be around for a while, for quite a while. Thanks so much again for tuning in. I hope you're having that cup of coffee and you're just sitting back and just enjoying the moments here with myself, the Un-Bougie foodie. Again, I'm your host, Wesley. I'm still going to be taking phone calls, so if you'd like to, again, leave a message, or not leave a message, but if you'd like to call in and share your thoughts on what we were talking about of the Thanksgiving feast and what were your favorites, what were your maybe more unique items that were there, please feel free to do that. The phone line is open, 651-200-3479. I want to I mentioned already that there was a friend that created that wild rice with sausage and mushroom. There's another group of friends, another set of friends that I'll just say is lucky. Thank you very much for always providing me with wild rice. They're another group of friends that really are experimental and do things very different when it comes down to cooking at home. And providing me the wild rice. I've never really had wild rice until I've come to Minnesota. So it's definitely a more earthy rice or starched item. I am used to I've had brown rice, of course, and being that my parents are from Central America, I am a Belizean American, so I am going to have coconut rice or coconut rice and beans. So places like Marla's Caribbean, Pimento Jamaican Kitchen, I live and die for that. Wild rice is new to me as I've come to Minnesota, but I've learned to make different dishes in small batches because I don't think I do it very well. So I'm experimenting still. But these friends that have given me ones that have given me wild rice, and also the friends that just did the wild rice for this past Thursday, they know how to prepare it very, very well. And I have to learn the process too. I know there's a washing process, and I know how to cook rice, but I'm not sure if maybe wild rice might be a little bit different. Anyway, if anybody has any suggestions on the best way to do wild rice, please let me know. I'm so open, to learning more about, again, new foods or items that I'm not really versed in strongly. I've had wild rice soup. The wild rice from from Thursday was really, really good. I mean, it had, after he cooked the rice, he mixed in sausage, and then he had sauteed some baby bella mushrooms, and then mixed that all together and presented that as a side dish for that turkey that, that was, I'll say it was herb and white wine butter based turkey. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. That was really, really good. I told you there was another friend. There were like two friends that invited me over. So initial friend that invited me over, they had a green bean casserole. Now, I did not find out all the ingredients that were in this green bean casserole. I mean, because it wasn't just green beans. I mean, it literally had, like, I think cream cheese, and then, of course, the standard sprinkling on top of the, I suppose it's fried onions. Yeah. The mixture, though, altogether, it was so tasty, and it wasn't from packaged. They've gone on Pinterest and really have honed in on certain recipes that they want to, I guess, incorporate in their menu or meals that they're providing or that they're offering for their guests. But however they did it, it was awesome. I loved it. Just want them to know that. Shout out to chef and hosts Sean and Jen Fetterman. Thank you very much for the invitation. Yeah, those green beans, and then of course those mashed potatoes, bomb. You know, even with the extra butter that you put in it, Sean. Yeah, very, very tasty. And you can see that on my website too. So if you go to the gallery page, you'll be able to actually see the mashed potatoes. I didn't get a chance to get the green bean casserole, but who knows? I think they gave me some. You know, when you're a single person, you go from place to place, and you never leave hungry. Or you never leave empty-handed, I'll say that. Because they're always willing to provide you with... they realize that I'm here by myself. And my family is not with me. So, you know, they're my family. And they offer me feedings. we'll say it like that. Feedings. And items to feast upon at a later time. So, yeah. I'm thankful for that. I never really thought about, that's gonna come out wrong. I was gonna say I never really thought about what I'm thankful for. I know what I'm thankful for. There's so many different things that I'm thankful for, but it's not just specifically for the season. I mean, throughout the year, throughout my life, there's so many different things. Yeah, we won't really go into it too much like that because that is a light show and it's not deep. It's just, you know, people reflect at certain times of the year during a specific season or whatever on things that they have done, accomplishments, progress, steps that they've taken in their lives and so forth. And so that's kind of what I was talking about too. And individuals that have been there being supportive, that have helped along the way and so forth. So I'm transitioning sort of, but into that small segment. But I'm still also, you know, interested in hearing about any of your dishes that you've had out there. I know that there's got to be some interesting ones. There has to be. But yeah, this is your time. Feel free to give us a call. I always say us. There's not two people in here. It's me. 651-200-3479. I am here waiting for your phone call. I'm going to still move on, but anytime you want to interject or have a comment or share, just feel free to call. So, I want to move on to a subject that it's a bit touch and go. And really it's more of a serious subject, but however, it's something that's really been on my mind. Considering that this is not a show that's being political, but in every aspect of our lives, um, whether it be man or a woman, we're faced at either making choices or faced with experiences that shape how we may go on, our day-to-day lives. And I think this is one that um, it's a subject that's really out there right now, and it's about sexual assault. I know this show is about food, but I'm tying it in to food, or I'm bringing that into the realm of food because it is something that is very prevalent. And even though we hear a number of celebrities talking about it and so forth, there are people in so many other industries that are faced with that experience, and harrowing experiences too. But when it comes down to individuals, specifically women in the culinary industry, their voices need to be heard as well. It's very important for everyone's voice to actually be heard. But again, because this is a food show, a lot of times people feel that we don't really hear about that type of conversation, or don't have those type of conversations, being that it is so prevalent right now, and that topic is so out in it's fire. Basically, it's just fuel that's currently out there. We're not going to dwell much on it, but I would really like to hear your opinions on that as well, because there are women that are, and men too, but more so it's with women, because of the fact that they are in an industry that seems to be male dominated. And I shouldn't even say seems, it is male dominated. I mean, research has shown that men dominate the culinary industry and world more than women. And when you think of, I was doing a little bit of research, and there was a point that I think it was made in Time magazine in the year 2013. I think the article was specifically the food gods, and they had men on the cover. And we know that there are a number of women that own their own businesses, that are in the culinary industry and have been, but have not been given the accolades, the commendation, and so forth that men have. And even though they haven't gotten those accolades and so forth, they still are actually not, because they are experiencing being harassed, and you're thinking, okay, gosh, wait a minute, these are people that are working side by side. They're working with men that you would think that either are their friends or at least their colleagues, more on a professional level, that they're able to go back and forth with ideas, come up with suggestions about maybe a type of cuisine or whatnot. It's bad enough that they don't get the recognition that they should, because they're often overlooked. If there is a executive chef and that he's a male, oftentimes he will actually choose a male over a female for a promotion. And perhaps the female, the woman has been there much more longer, or maybe have more experience than the individual or the male that the executive chef may have chosen for that promotion. So that's just one side. But then having the conversations, men having conversations in the cooking area, or in the kitchen, or in the prep area, wherever they are in the restaurant, having inappropriate conversations about perhaps a woman that's in their presence, taking photos or so forth, while she's working professionally, working and trying to get things done. It's I bring that up because when you have I'm a person that has been raised around women. I have 3 sisters. I lived in a house full of women. My mother, my grandmother. I think I've probably even talked about this in the past, but I have a greater respect for women. Respect and appreciation, because some in the past I've learned that they were called the weaker sex, and I don't really consider them the weaker sex. It's just that's the terminology that in the past, when you're younger, when you're growing up, that's what you hear. And for those that are Bible scholars or know about the Bible a bit, those are words that are used. But in doing so, or in learning that, never have I taken advantage of them being in that role. As a matter of fact, I've learned that we're supposed to revere women. I think of it as, what if that were your mother, your sister, your aunt, someone that was working in that industry? And it doesn't, again, we're talking about food, but it could be any industry. But if they were being catcalled at work, or being harassed, or just, there are a number of stories that I just read online while doing research about cooks being in they might be in an enclosed space, but there's a way to pass by someone without inappropriately touching them. There is a way that we could talk about food without overly sexualizing it within the workplace, or here you're in your professional space and you're thinking, okay, this is a place where I need to, there's no reason to have fun, but at the expense of someone else, or that is going to make someone else feel uncomfortable. I'm glad that the conversation is actually happening and is occurring, because it needed to happen. I know that I was feeling a certain type of way. I just, and I wish I could understand what women specifically, but anyone that has been faced with that type of experience, what held them back from speaking out, whether it be that promotion, they really want to get that promotion, but if they talked out, or if they said something to someone that it would prevent them from getting that promotion, maybe from being just a sous chef to a head chef, and then maybe executive. I know everyone wants to make an advancement or move forward, but still, I'm interested in finding out the story, and understanding that people need to be heard, their stories need to be heard, and they need to be supported. There have been a number of celebrity chefs that have spoken out in that instance, and again, I'm not trying to make this political and everything, but I'll just use one or two as an example. One specifically that he wrote a scathing response, if you would, to this whole scenario that women specifically are facing in restaurants or in the culinary industry, and talking to men and how they have to do better. And it shouldn't even be that they have to do better. They should know better. They should be more professional and understand that there is no one that is I mean, they are in a professional field and act accordingly. Um, and that was Tom Colicchio. He's a celebrity chef. You've probably seen him on a number of different shows and so forth. But specifically, he even said himself that we all make mistakes. He said that he had at one point, a publicist had written something about either a restaurant or a dish or something that was at the restaurant that he is the executive chef, and he used, unfortunately, in his anger or his moment, he used a gendered slur, and called a few choice words, which was highly inappropriate, of course. And he realized that we all make mistakes and so forth, but we learn from them. But in doing so, he felt horrible because he knew that even being raised at home, and it does start at home, it starts at home, that his father did not tolerate at all and prohibited any type of disrespect to his mother. So why wouldn't that translate, to everyone, young men, older men, and it's I'm talking one-sided because that's what it seems to have occurred. A man is talking a certain type of way inappropriately to a woman, she making her feel uncomfortable, putting her in that situation of harassment. But Tom mentioned that understanding that no one should be subject to that. He has been very empathetic and is able to demonstrate how that is not going to be tolerated in either in his presence or in a restaurant that he is an owner or executive chef at. Individuals will actually be dealt with, accordingly based on their actions. Another celebrity chef, Anthony Bourdain, and I won't say that he is an idol. He's not really an idol. He's just, I guess, someone that I look at and I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I could do, some stuff that he does, or whatever. Not that I'm idolizing him, but he himself has mentioned, we recognizing personally our faults, and that in a society where, for him, being a celebrity chef, and he's done so many things, his persona, he gives off this macho attitude, and although he himself has talked against the harassment, sexual harassment that would be prevalent within the culinary industry towards women, and calling it meathead culture, which he's referring to more a hypo-masculine type of attitude that men have within, whether it be, well, you could use that in any term, in any industry, but that's hyper-masculinity within the culinary world. Men should be the only ones be head chefs or be chefs at a restaurant and so forth, and then the inappropriate conversations and so forth. He himself has said that because of his persona, that people, he had to question if he himself has been condoning that type of action or that attitude within his own restaurant or perhaps someplace that he's worked. But he wondered too if it is because of, again, his persona, referred to him as macho, that people felt uncomfortable or feeling that they are unable to actually come talk to him about that type of experience or scenario that they are actually having. So he himself is saying that he needs to do better. He wants to be a better ally for women or for anyone that might be actually faced with having or experiencing that type of treatment within the culinary industry. So, I mean, I applaud them. I'm quite sure that there are others that have spoken out. Those were just ones that, as I listened to the news and just, did my own research, I looked at the article that Tom Colucci wrote and just thought, I mean, a number of his points were just, they were just really, without sounding, no pun intended, they were on point. They really were. And just redundant, I know, sorry. But they were just on point. They really were. He made points that were valid, and in every case, whether it be in the movie or the entertainment industry, the culinary industry, again, all of his words apply to any type of industry. It's not just culinary, although that was his focus. But still, the things that he mentioned and he talked about people really respecting other people. I mean, why can't one human being respect another human being? I know we're all imperfect and we make mistakes and so forth, but learn from our mistakes and know that, okay, we've got to do better. We have to do better. So I would love to, if anyone has any type of comment or conversation that they would like to further that on, please feel free to get in contact with me. You could always go to my website, theunbougie.com, and leave me a comment, and I will certainly get back to you. Feel free to also leave me an email if you want to go a little bit more in depth. I'm so open to having a conversation. I would love to actually find out too, and again, this is not something that's going to be drawn out, but I don't believe that I've had opportunity to have an actual female chef on here. There have been some home chefs, which they're just as important. I have had them, number of them. Carly, Shannon, thank you very much. Ladies, women that I look up to when it comes to preparing and cooking food or a meal. They really know how to do that. But I would really also like to have, from a professional standpoint, and find their viewpoint on subjects such as that. And even more so, just finding out about what they do. So if there's anybody out there, get at me. I'll just put it that way. There is a subject, well, not a subject, but there is a recipe I want to share. And I did want to sneeze, but sorry. It was one that I saw, trying to be better with eating and being more active and exercising and so forth. Yeah, this is the time where it's difficult because you're in the holiday season and you're like, man, how is it that I'm going to be able to work out and still be able to, have some food with my friends? Just saying. Anyway, there are, I'm looking in Men's Health specifically, and this month's article, or article, volume, issue, that's the word I'm looking for, issue, or it's for December actually. They had a great, what seemed to be not many carbs, or it is a dish that you're able to have and not have to worry about, oh my goodness, I have just stuffed myself beyond compare. Why did I have that extra steak, or there's too much butter or too much cream or something like that. Anyway, uh, you know, and it's entitled A Man, a Pan, and a Plan. And specifically, it is referring to the recipe is spaghetti carbonara. So it's offering a twist on the tradition by topping the pasta with a poached egg. So you gotta love a poached egg, you really do, because you're gonna break the yolk before you start to swirl in the spaghetti or whatever, so it doesn't get too gummy or whatever. But really quick, here's the recipe for that. What you're going to need: 3 ounces of regular or whole wheat angel hair pasta, 1 egg, 1 strip of bacon chopped, 1 tablespoon of freshly grated Parmesan, minced parsley for garnish. And then the instructions for that first is that you're going to, in a large pan, you're going to put boiling salted water. You're going to cook the pasta based on the package directions, and then you're going to drain it in a small pan of simmering water. You're then going to gently crack the egg. You're going to cook that egg, swirling it in the water until the whites really firm up. It normally takes about 3 to 4 minutes for that to happen. There are a number of different ways that you could do a poached egg as well, but they're just telling you using a pan in this instance. So your next step would then be return the pan to medium heat, and you're going to cook the bacon until it's crisp, and that's the large pan. And you're going to cook that until it's crisp. It's going to be about 5 minutes before that the bacon starts to crisp up. After you drain most of the fat, then you're going to turn down the heat to medium, and then you're going to add in the pasta. You're going to mix it really well, and then you're going to top it with the egg, and then you're going to add, if you have some, it's an optional item, you're going to add Parmesan, and then definitely the parsley, and then even freshly ground pepper, and that normally feeds about 1 to 2 people. It talks about it's 456 calories. It offers a bit of protein as well. Not a lot of carbs, not a lot of fat associated with it. You could use olive oil too, rather than probably butter. Olive oil is great. It's a great substitute for butter, especially when you're trying to keep your pasta from sticking together. So, yeah, I just thought it was something that it was interesting to share, and I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you before the end of the show. So yeah, spaghetti carbonara, and that's in the December issue of Men's Health. Just article information that I find and want to share. I'll make it available online as well, or at least mention it in a post, so that you could, and with a link to Men's Health, so you could find that yourself as well. Gosh, it is nearing the end of the show, and once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Just remember that I am here every Saturday at 10 a.m. always talking about some food subject, whether it be a food event, recipe like we did today. I still want to find out more about any of your unique and even favorite dishes that you had for the holidays. Christmas might be the same thing, so if you're gonna have some special stuff, just know that I'm gonna want to hear about it. Not because I'm hungry. I'm just interested. I'm interested in seeing what people make out there. Anyway, I want to thank you so much again for tuning in to the Un-Bougie Foodie right here on WEQY 104.7, the voice of the East Side, where, we are here for the community and want to engage with you. So please make sure you support your local community radio station. Again, that's WEQY LP St. Paul. Gosh, the time does truly fly, and I'm glad again that you were able to spend the time with me. So, as I end every show, I want to thank you and also remind you and encourage you never to let anyone tell you what type of foodie to be, because really, it is all about the food.